So super exciting for me. I got sent some stuff from Arteza. So wait until you see what I have here. I have some stuff that Arteza sent me. Yes, this is going to be another review video. Arteza have sent me these products and asked me to kindly review them. So I will also have a discount code for you that I will link down below, so that if you buy any Arteza products through my link, my affiliate link, at no extra cost to you, but I will receive a small percentage of the sales cost. So just to let you know that that is happening in this video, full transparency, but I am going to unbox these products. I can't wait. They've actually been sitting here for over a week now, and I haven't had time to film this video, but I wanted to unbox them on camera, so it's been absolute torture actually for me. I haven't been able to open these up yet, so I'm going to very quickly show you what I've got. We're going to unbox them. I'm going to do a bit of swatching, and then I'm going to paint a picture with them and talk about my thoughts on these products. So first up, I got the box of 72 expert watercolors, 2 pads of expert watercolor paper, and last but by no means least, a whole box of 60 watercolor paints. Can you believe how big this is? So I'm going to be discussing the watercolors and swatching them first of all. If you want to skip that bit, you can go to 11 minutes and 36 seconds. That's when I start to do my little demo of the Fox. So the watercolors come in a rather large box. There's 60 tubes and they are all 12 milliliters each. They are separated up into little sections of 5 of the colour families. The watercolors in the UK cost around £40, and it's about comparable in dollars, so if you're in America you get a much better deal than us here in the UK. And the 2-pack of the expert watercolor paper has 32 sheets in each pack, and again it's about $23.99 in the UK and about the same in the United States. And also the same for the watercolor pencils. There's 72 in a box, and here in the UK they cost about $28.99, and in the US the same in dollars. I'll only be covering the watercolors and the paper in this video, and I'll do a separate video covering the watercolor pencils. So I just really wanted to concentrate on the paints here. There's a lot of colours in this box. The pigment and the light fast information is on the tube and on the box. There's more colours than you could possibly even need in this box. It seems to be that 12 out of the 60 are made out of single pigments, and the rest of them are made out of mixes of more than one pigment. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing, as most professional paints have pigment mixes for some of them. I noticed that especially some of them, for example the ballerina pink, the light apricot, peach and so on, have PW6, which is a white pigment. There's quite a lot of them that have a white pigment, and that has been added to create these pastel tones. So just bear that in mind when you're painting, as any watercolor with white added will not be transparent, and some of these tubes kind of almost more resemble gouache a little bit more than they do watercolor, in that they've got that kind of white pastel aspect to them. So they kind of remind me a little bit of the Prima Marketing Pastel Tones set. I've got that set and I really love it and I love using it. So this isn't a negative as such, it's just that it's slightly different from, say, more professional watercolors like Schmincke or Daniel Smith. The Kuretake watercolors, they also have a few that have white added, so have that almost like a kind of a chalky gouache sense to them. I especially noticed it in their pale blue that they've got in their set. You can see on the tubes the symbols which show you their transparency, light fastness and pigment. The crosses on the tubes represent the light fastness, and with most of them they display full light fastness, but there are a few that have slightly more diminished light fastness. So those ones are the orange yellow, the vermilion, the neon pink, the orange red and the bluish pink. And while there are only 2 in the set that say that they're fully transparent, the ultramarine blue and the neon pink, there are quite a few others that are semi-transparent, and then the other ones are opaque. So there's about 15 colours in total which are listed as semi-transparent, including gamboge, burnt sienna and phthalo blue. I'm swatching the colours with a little black line in them so that I could test the transparency, and I did notice that some of them were definitely more transparent than others. The colours are, on the whole, gorgeous and bright, and I especially love the crimson red, the violet, the phthalo blue and the cerulean blue, which isn't a transparent colour and is a mix of quite a few pigments, but I love the cerulean blue in the set of gouache paints that Arteza do, and I love the colour here too, but that's maybe just my personal preference of colours. Neon pink is a colour that I haven't seen in any of my other sets. I would say that it's almost like the Opera Rose that I have by Winsor & Newton, but it's even more bright and poppy and neon. So that's quite a cool colour to have in this set because it's quite an unusual colour in my experience. Feel free to correct me if you know of another make that has that super neon pink colour. I just wanted to note here that I was going by the tubes as they came out in the box and I missed out the Prussian blue by mistake, so I popped it in at the bottom there. I'd forgotten to write it in my list, so it just got slid into the bottom of that section. That's why there's already a little blue square at the bottom. I would say that these paints are pretty good value for money, because for £40 you get 60 tubes, so that's well under £1 a tube of paint. And if you want to compare to other makes, the Winsor & Newton Cotman, which is their student grade paint, it's about £2 or £3 for a tube, which is bigger. I think it's 15 mils. And then the professional Winsor & Newton paints, the 5mm tubes, which are tiny, so they're over less than half the size of these ones, they are about £5, if not more, depending on the pigment that you get. So these are definitely much cheaper, but they're not really in the same vein or the same quality as professional watercolors such as Schmincke or Daniel Smith. You can definitely tell the difference. I would say they're much better than student grade watercolors. They're kind of like an in-between. So for me, they're really like an in-between paint, and that doesn't have to be a negative thing. It does mean that if you are learning and you are wanting to try out watercolors and you don't want to spend a lot of money, you're getting a lot of paints for your money buying this set. Although bear in mind that you don't necessarily need to have a full set of 60 colours in order to be able to paint successfully with watercolours. You can mix a lot of your colours to make new colours. So, you know, even if you've only got a set of 12, then that would be perfectly okay. So I think they're pretty good value actually. I would definitely use these with, I do kids club, and these would be lovely super bright paints for my kids in kids club to use, or if I just wanted to maybe try out a composition or, you know, do some sketches in my journal, that kind of thing, before I wanted to do proper painting. I would think I would definitely use them for this. There is a little bit of chalkiness to some of the paints, especially those ones that have white added to them, but the colours are pretty saturated and vibrant, which is nice. And you can see the ones at the top of that swatch card, they're the ones that have fewer pigment mixes, and they're definitely the better ones, I would say, out of the pack. So I'm going to be moving on to my little fox in a minute. I'm doing a speed paint of the little fox, but this was just a quick swatching so that you could get an idea of the kinds of colours that you got in this set. So I'm just going to quickly speak about the paper. The paper feels pretty nice. I actually did the swatches on my other Arteza paper, which is the more student grade one, and you can see that there's a funny texture to that one, which, while it's not a bad thing, it definitely has a slight funny texture. And the paper that I got sent, which is the expert paper, doesn't have that funny texture to it. It is a cold press paper, but the texture is a lot nicer in my opinion. I found it much easier to paint with, and it didn't buckle too much. It was pretty good paper, and again, it wasn't really on a par with, like, for example, Arch's paper. But for the price and for the amount of sheets that you get in a pad, again, it's great for, you know, trying things out or practice paper. So one thing that I would know is that normally when I have tube watercolors, I do like to squeeze them out into pans and let them dry so that I can use them that way. And these ones didn't work. They cracked. And I have heard that one tip that other people have said is to put a little bit of honey or glycerin in when you're squeezing them out into tubes. So I haven't squeezed these out into tubes yet. I just use them straight from the tube for this painting, but that's one thing that I think I'll try if I put these into pans, or I may just continue to squeeze them out when I want to use them like this. I do find that I prefer kind of working from tube paints that have been put into pans though. So for my fox, I used a combination of some of the oranges and reds and burnt sienna and brown tones for his fur, and I did find that the paint went on really nicely and it blended really nicely. The colours are pretty non-granulating. They did blend nice on the paper, and this paper I was enjoying using actually. It was quite nice paper. I found it quite nice to work with, and it seemed to take layers pretty well because I layered this painting up with several background layer on the fox and then the leaves on top that you'll see appearing in a minute here. So I'm going to leave you with the rest of the video and some music to watch this cute little fox appear. But before I go, I'm just going to remind you that you'll find a link in the description below to Arteza if you wish to check out their products. It is an affiliate link, so I will make a small percentage of the sale, but it will be at no cost to you. It doesn't cost you anything extra. So if you're thinking of checking out Arteza's products, it would be really appreciated if you click through my link. And I will also leave links below to my online art classes. I've got a beginner's watercolor class called Let's Learn Watercolor, where we do a little squirrel and a stag and various other little projects. And if you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. I know that I haven't been super regular recently, but I'm hoping to step up my game a little bit. I know I always promise that, and it doesn't always happen. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, which will be my speed painting and review of the Arteza coloured pencils. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bye.